Yes, good morning. We're very happy to join you here at the conference. We will present our project, Mobile Technology and Museum Education for Schools, and talk about theory, methods, and study results. The project itself has been a collaboration between the University of Applied Arts in Vienna and the young, creative, technology-focused team Volksguide. My name is Ruth Mateus-Berr. I'm professor at the University of Applied Arts in Vienna at the Institute of Art, Science and Education and head of Department of Artistic Didactics. And we are building up right now a center for artistic didactics in Austria. The University of Applied Arts in Vienna was founded in 1867, and we have departments like fine and media arts, architecture, applied arts as graphic design, industrial design, fashion design, but also very important, we educate art, design and textile educators for secondary schools. We have about 2,000 students, and nearly half of the students are international. We are actually one of the most successful universities in Austria for research and science and also arts. And as the idea for this project was to use new technologies within schools, it was crucial to have technology experts within the team, and therefore we cooperated with Volksguide.
Yeah, great to know to me. So my name is Castro, I'm from Volksguide. We're a Vienna-based company, and we've been around for a while actually, since like 2010 or something like this. We provide like high-end and cutting-edge technology for museums, for whatever that means, but for museums and for exhibitions. So we did all kind of things, especially when it's about using mobile technology for interpretation. So we did like multimedia guides, apps, like iPad terminals, touch tables, and on stationary things. So we did things like this. We have a lot of solutions concerning iBeacon or GPS positioning, outdoor environments, social media integration, and things like this. So and we do this internationally, so not only in Europe, but also projects in the US and Middle America, in Asia, and so on. We have a lot of experience with museums actually, but we knew as we went into this direction, we are technology alone, as we've heard many times in this conference, is not alone, and we knew we're going to need expertise. We're going to need expertise from like the education sector, from education experts, which we have with our partner, and we knew that we're going to need the expertise of the stakeholders, of the actual users of the systems, which are teachers, students, and museums people. So, and that's why it's a very nice collaborative and participative project, and that's where I turn over to Michaela.
Sure, I come into play. As a link between a museum and schools, I am a research assistant at the University of Applied Arts, but I'm as well trained as teacher for art, textile design, and handicrafts, and as well also experience in museum education. But who are the stakeholders we want us to involve in our projects? Who actually is the audience we want to invite to our project? These are, as you can see here, on the one side, out of the school field, the teachers, the educators, the education experts, and also the students of art education. And on the other side, in the museum field, museum educators, the creators, the museum designers, and the most important group in this, the scholars themselves. Actually, we worked especially with scholars from secondary level. So, that's up to you.
Yes. To talk about the methods. We applied methods which you might know. One is the Rose Cafe, of course, you might know, but we also used applied design thinking method, which is actually a qualitative research method developed by Stanford University, and we further developed it at our university and use it for qualitative research, which is actually very interesting because people have to work in pairs and they design for each other. So in a very short time, you can engage people who don't know each other, like people from schools, with people from museums. You can involve them in a very short time, and they empathize with each other. They define their needs, and then they ideate and iterate some solutions for each other, and then you make prototypes and you can test it. And that's actually a very interesting approach because you get very close to the user and you immediately get interesting results. Walt Cafe was designed to foster complex conversation with multifaceted contents, and we also use this method with our target groups.
So we did these workshops with the experts from the museum and from the school, but also with the scholars themselves. And now I would like to present a series of design guidelines which derived from an evaluation of these workshops. 1. Take a constructivist learning perspective and facilitate user exploration and experimentation.
We suggest for Flux Guide, take a holistic perspective, which in all use cases considers that technology is used before, during, and after a visit.
Build a system that provides organizational and administrative ease instead of additional burden.
Offer playful e-learning applications for preparation of the visit to simulate curiosity, and for the following up to deepen the learning experiences emotionally.
Primarily target mobile devices like tablets and smartphones, but take into consideration that both before and after a visit, mostly PCs are used. As students often have to work on the devices in pairs and more, think about applications that force discussion and cooperation.
Face the most prevalent fear that new media distracts attention, and design technology in a way that it blends with the exhibition space, that it works rather in the background and enhances the experience instead of creating a new and separate one. For example, build a playful scenario using games and create levels that only let players progress further when engaging fully with the original artifact. Implement competitive situations and fun. Provide the technical infrastructure for features such as geocaching and other team games and augmented reality.
Provide links to the everyday life of children and young people.
Facilitate participation. This can be by allowing a visitor to shape his or her individual visit. Scholars prefer to approach a museum independently. Guided by technology, they want to decide where they will get more or less information. So, build a system that is open and integrated into the exhibition space rather than one that restricts options and leads visitors along a predefined path.
Scholars want to be interactively involved at stations, to take pictures, share experiences with their classmates and friends on site. From there, facilitate participation can also mean create a shared space for creative expression and communication. Connections like to social media like Facebook or media platforms like Instagram could support exchange and reflection about the museum experience.
Build a system that enables to take notes, to collect and record data, for example pictures, videos and sounds, to create a favorite list and to track all activities before, during and after a visit, for the reason of documentation and follow-up processes.
Offer creative and artistic applications beyond photo and video function, provide tools for image processing, drawing, animation and presentation.
Facilitate the creation of archives, picture databases, libraries, glossaries and dictionaries which easily can be customized. Provide support for media literacy, for example, the right use of digital data and citation of methods.
Make a system adaptive and configurable so that it can cater to the individual needs and preferences of teachers and educators and students or to the school curriculum.
Further, communication and collaboration among and between teachers, museum educators, and students. Regular meetings will be organized by the University of Applied Arts in Vienna in cooperation with Flux Guide.
So, this was kind of for us as a technology company, this is like a wish list, right? And as it is Christmas now, it's a wish list for Santa Claus, as we always say in Vienna. So we hear a lot of those things. However, what we did, we aggregated the results from all the stakeholders and experts, and we came up with the idea. We're still in a kind of early stage, kind of at the moment finalizing the prototype. But the basic idea was, from all we heard before, the main thing is that that a school class visit doesn't kind of begin in a museum, right? It's not only in a museum. There is a phase before that. There is something happening after that, and it seems like there was a wish to offer a service, a technology, which kind of connects this to a holistic learning experience. So that's our basic thing, to avoid, as we heard in the first presentation, avoid presentation, connect the learning experiences. And that's what we want to do, and especially for school classes, and for education, it's important to include the first phases as well. So what we kind of we envision is that before the visit, teachers, especially students, they use new technologies to have a first exploration of the exhibition, to have a pre-visit experience, and to stimulate curiosity, but also to create motivation to go there, and to already in the school using e-learning technology, for example, to get involved and to begin with activities which then are connected to the museum, to the learning experience on the spot, which is about to use especially mobile technologies, to have a mobile learning experience in the museum, to gain knowledge, but also to create something, to design something, to be creative, for the students to collaborate, but also to compete. So it's also about kind of getting the rewards and team up with others. And then, last but not least, the idea is to use technology after the visit, to take what has happened in the museum, to take it into the school, and to reflect upon what has happened in the museum, to recapitulate, to remember, to recall. It's very important dialectical issues, as you all know, and to deepen the learning experience, to deepen the learning experience in the museum, and last but not least, to be awarded. And how this is going to look like, this is also almost our last slide, but what's actually going to happen is that there is going to be a web portal where the teacher can, as a pre-visit action, the teacher visits this portal, selects an appropriate art collector tour, and the students will be able to use tablets in the school class or to use desktop environment to log into their own tour. So the system kind of stores it as an individual tour. They do this in teams, at least 2 persons, and they get and the user is going to get a first impression of the exhibition topic, of course, but also to do e-learning, to solve challenges concerning the topics, and to collect first reward. For example, if we have a score, we have been implemented a score and an award system. So they collect points, they collect something, they do something, which they then on tablets use in the museum. Which on the tablets is the tablets are connected to the pre-visit action. So the same teams, they can go through the museum. Yes, they can go through the museum. They can use tablets to interact, to solve challenges, to do mobile learning in front of the exhibits on the spot, to do photo challenges and things like this. Collect scores and do something, learn something, create something. And then after the visit, the teacher receives an automatically generated summary and download material which he or her can use after the visit. And the students, they can use their self-generated content to enable further reflection on what they did, to remember and so on, to deepen the learning experience and to receive rewarding. So this, I think this is, there is a need for something like this, and technology can offer us the possibility to do so.
So what will be the upcoming art lecture activities? We would like to test next week. We will have a prototype test of the developed technology. First we will have a test with scholars in a specific exhibition with the tablets, with the pre-visit activities, and following up, and we will have also a community exchange to get the feedback of this stakeholder community again. Then, when it will be evaluated and maybe reshaped a bit, we will set it in several museums, exhibition spaces, as you can see here, the three, for example. And on the other side, we also want to go on with this already well installed sorry, with our community exchange. We will have more and more events also with our stakeholders. This is one of the results also which was very important for us to get connected, to stay connected and from these both skills in the museum side and the school. So if you are interested in this vivid community exchange or in our holistic system of architecture, just join.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.